Welcome back to the Drive Studios. I am Sherman, and I am underdressed because Howard Ankin, look at how nice he looks, even in a radio studio. You know that's not TV. Well, I guess it is TV. I guess, yeah, there is video here. I guess I should have dressed better. Look at you, all in a nice tie.
You know what it's like being a lawyer, Sherman.
Yeah.
The judge could call you at any time. You got to run across the street.
Yeah. Injury law made personal, but he's still dressing well wherever he goes. Hey, thanks for making it in here today. You're such a busy guy. You're all over the place.
I'm trying my best. You know, it's a competitive marketplace being a lawyer.
You know, I have a question for you. Can you sue an animal?
Can you sue an animal?
Yeah. A certain type of animal?
No. Why do you want to sue an animal?
Well, the reason why, and it happened quite some time ago, I was actually going to get my marriage license, of all things, and I was on a motorcycle. And then I'm like, you know what? I'll go visit my brother, and this is in Wisconsin, right on the border of Wisconsin and Illinois. And I'm going all right. I'm not speeding huge, but I'm going faster. And out of complete nowhere, a deer flies out of the woods and goes right at me. I didn't even have time to turn or anything. Anybody that's ridden a motorcycle, you know what I'm talking about. There's just sometimes you don't have the time to even react. So the deer hit me right in the front wheel. Luckily, I did not endo over the deer, but luckily, and it was nothing that I did. I can't even accredit to me of knowing what I'm doing. It was complete luck. I didn't go down. So I stopped the bike, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And it was the deer, and the deer was already in the weeds. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So
you want to sue the deer is what you're telling me.
Can I sue the deer for coming at me?
So the answer to this question is no, but as always, I got to find an avenue of recovery. So I'll get to the avenue of recovery in a second. So I get this telephone call a lot, Sherman, because, you know, I'm always telling people if you're biking, running, jogging, using your scooter, whatever you have, if you're hit by another motorist, and let's say that motorist flees the scene, okay, you could use your own insurance to get a recovery.
Okay.
Now, I do get people that call me that say, well, how about the deer? Well, the deer's not another motorist on the road, so we can't use the uninsured motorist coverage for the deer. But this is what we can do. When you have your insurance policy has all kinds of coverages. So you got your collision coverage, you got your liability coverage. Some people got glass breaks, some people got towing. One coverage that people have is called MedPay, medical pay coverage, which means that you get your medical paid, okay, regardless of fault. So when you're going to buy your insurance policy, the average policy has like $5,000 in MedPay. But for really like not that much more money, you could upgrade your med pay to like $10,000, $25,000. Most people don't know to do it. But if you got hit by a deer, we're going to use the med pay.
Well, especially if it does more damage. Like I thought my leg was really messed up. Luckily, I healed up. I went to the hospital. It could have been a lot worse though. So that's very good to know.
You keep yourself in great shape, Sherman.
I try. But no, I did get injured, Howard, one time. I did hurt my back, and it's an ongoing thing. Once you hurt your back, you're kind of stuck with that injury for life, so you kind of have to deal with that. But I was in a physical job. I've done construction. I was a garbage man, and at one physical job that I was at, I bent down to grab. It was just the front end of a TV, and I was just going to throw it away. It wasn't even the TV. It was just like the plastic surrounding the TV. It used to be attached, so it weighed nothing. I picked up, and I threw it, and when I threw it, and I was on the job, I just felt this insane pain shoot down my leg. I'm like, oh, no, that wasn't good. I know what that probably is, something with my lower back. And at the company at the time, they weren't really doing anything about it, and it wasn't until, and this was before I met you, Howard, they weren't doing anything about it, and it wasn't until I got a lawyer that kind of helped me move that forward. Otherwise, I was kind of on my own to help deal with all of the medical stuff that I was stuck with at that time.
Yeah, you know, having an injury, it's life-changing. But when it comes to having a work injury especially, for the employer, it's like anything else they have. What it costs them to turn the lights on, what it costs them to like buy the raw material for whatever their product is. The worker is a raw material. It's an overhead cost. And when somebody's injured at work, it's just a question of who bears the burden, okay, of paying for that injured worker's injury and to get them better. And is that something that should be insured by the worker themselves, or is that somebody that should be borne by the employer, like as an overhead cost, like anything else that costs them to run their business? And there are a lot of employers that understand that they need to be good to their employees, and that reverberates. But there are a lot of employers that don't treat their employees seriously, or they don't take certain types of injuries as seriously as they should. And that's why my law firm is one of the number one filers of workers' compensation cases in the state. Work injuries are very serious to me, and because they're very serious to other people. And yes, you do need somebody to advocate for you when you're injured at work.
You're a very recognizable guy because by design, I see you on the side of buses. I see you come up in ads on websites. All of a sudden, your face will pop up.
Injury law made personal, that's Ankin Law. Got to get my name out there to help as many people as I can. You know, when you bring up that I'm on a billboard, or like I'm here with you in your office talking about my legal services, the truth of the matter is, I'm a third generation lawyer. I'm the firstborn son. I was a lawyer, and it was important for my mother that I would grow up to be a lawyer and to help people. I went to the University of Illinois in Champaign. I grew up in the Chicago area. I went to law school in the Chicago area. I'm now the president of my alumni association. I live and work in the city. My office is in the heart of the loop. I'm Chicago. And what really bothers me is there's a lot of interlopers where they come into this market. They don't even know where the courthouse is. They couldn't even tell you what the law is for workers' compensation, in my opinion, okay? And yet they're advertising their legal services that they're going to help a Chicagoan.
Well, just because, some people have 1,000 billboards, it doesn't mean that they're from here like you.
But what I'm saying is that when people hire me, I not only know the law, I not only advocate the law, but I advocate on the rights and understand the community in which I advocate in. And I'm not somebody that's dialing it in from the East Coast or the West Coast, okay? And this is a business for them. Representing injured people, it's very serious to me. My dad was a lawyer, and my dad was like a lawyer of his generation. There was no specialty. He represented families, and whenever anybody needed, they got injured, he helped them. Criminal, he helped them. They had a traffic ticket, he helped them. They did their will, he helped them. Whatever they had, they helped. And a lot of people for my father, they were regular working people. Like I worked in, like I grew up in like a working class neighborhood. Sometimes people had money, and sometimes they didn't. And so, my dad, in order to, put the food on the table in my house or whatever we had, sometimes people did favors for my father to make up for the fact that probably they didn't have his full legal fee. And that's just how I grew up. But anyways, I'm a young kid, and my bedroom was like on top of the garage, okay? And it overlooked the front of our house. So I'm like on a Sunday afternoon, I don't know, I'm playing with my Matchbox cars, whatever I might have been doing that day. I'm 7, okay? And all of a sudden, I just hear like the roar. I hear the roar of the motorcycle, okay? And it just keeps getting louder and louder. I don't know. I get up, I look out my window, and I'm looking, and I see, 30, 40 motorcycles. But they're coming down like the side street of my block.
You're like, what's going on here?
Never seen anything like this. I don't know what to do, okay? So I go running, go downstairs. Dad, the mob squad is here, okay? My dad's like, what? I'm like, Dad, the mob squad is here.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous. And the next thing I know, my dad goes over to the front door, and he looks, and he's like, And he opens the door. I'm hanging onto my dad's leg, and we walk out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying inside here. My dad's kind of like dragging me along, but it's my dad's clients. This is like a Sunday afternoon. Like they're all wearing their chaps. Like they're pulling their Harley out of their garage. Like a lot of my clients for like that nice, Sunday afternoon in the middle of the summer. And he was a metallurgist. Okay. And my parents had like a dining room table that I had growing up, which they kind of bought secondhand. And we had like a little shag carpeting. And when the table sat like on the shag carpeting, you could kind of hardly like pull your seat in to go underneath the table, like your legs got hit. So he comes in and he's got like these shiny bases, okay, and they were all nice and it had like nice velvet and stuff on the inside of it. And I just remember like holding up like the end of the table leg with like my dad, like I'm gonna lift something that that's strong when I'm 7.
Yeah.
And he added like maybe like 3 or 4 inches to the 4 table bases. And it was like that was their outing for this Sunday.
To come fix the table?
It was just like to prop up my parents' dining room table. I don't know what my dad did for him. I'm going to call my dad later and be like, what did you do? But anyways, that was my dad.
He sued a deer. That's what he did. He sued a deer with the damn motorcycle. That's what he did.
He probably told him that he needed his med pay.
That's right. See? Full circle.
Yeah.
Well, you've helped out so many people and continue to do so here in Chicago. Injury law made personal. That's Ankin Law. Howard Ankin, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm here to help. 312-6 million. It's 600-0000 for Howard Ankin. I'm here to help.